Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Fins and Feathers TV. I am your host Kenny Cannon and this is the most exciting, fun, and information-packed outdoor show on the internet. Today I want to talk about permission. A lot of people when they go hunting or fishing for that matter need to ask permission in order to get access to land they want to hunt because sometimes public land can be tough, or maybe you don't have a lot of access in your area. Public land doesn't produce as well as private property does. But a lot of people are either intimidated by asking for permission or they don't know the correct way to do it. And I'm going to show you and show you some tactics and teach you how to go out there and ask permission, whether it be for hunting or fishing. Now first, let me just quickly go over permission as a whole. I always found that when you're asking for permission, it's easier to get permission to hunt land as it is as opposed to go fishing on the land. And the reason for that is because people see the game, the animal, as a threat to their land, their garden, their lawn, whatever. So people really don't care if there's a fish in a pond. It's really not that big of a deal to them. But if there's deer on the land or turkey on the land or geese or whatever it is, they see that as a threat to the land or nuisance to them. Usually, archery is easier to get permission for, and that's just basic common sense. I mean, people just don't like people shooting on their property, but they'd much rather have someone hunt with a bow because they feel less threatened with an arrow as opposed to a gun. But I really want to go over how to ask for permission, the correct way to do it, and it really depends on where you are in the country. And what I mean by that is the area that I'm in. I'm on Long Island, New York, and you know, for me to ask permission here, it has to be done well in advance, and there's a method to it. Like, you know, it's the summertime now, so now is the time where I'm really going to be starting to ask permission for my deer hunts in November and October, and you know, out towards Christmas and things like that. And the way that I do it is I go up to the property owner. I try to find out a little bit about them before I go, whether it be a winery or farm or something like that. I try to find out a little bit about them. I go well dressed. I'm not talking about a suit, but jeans and a nice shirt. Go there, and I usually bring something small. You don't have to go out there, you know, and go crazy, but bring something. If I'm going to a winery, I'm not gonna bring wine. But if I'm going to a farm or something like that, maybe I will. Maybe for a winery, I'll bring, you know, like a gift basket or something, and just give them something and say, listen, you know, I'd like to hunt your property for whatever game you're going for, whatever method you're using, and give them a little bit of a background about yourself. You know, I'm very safe. I've been hunting for 15 years, and you know, this is the way that I do things, and I'm not going to bother you, and I'm only going to come once a month or whatever it is, or I'm only going to do one hunt on your property or whatever the case may be. But it's very important for most of us to go well in advance. Now, there are properties in upstate New York where it's a little bit more rural, a little bit more hunter friendly, where I can actually go that morning. You know, there are sometimes when I go upstate turkey hunting where in the fall especially, where I'll actually drive around. You know, that's how I hunt. I'll just drive around the area, look for turkeys in a field, stop my car, knock on the owner's door, go out backyard and shoot one. So, you know, it really depends on where you are, but it's very important that for most of us in most parts of the country that we go well in advance. You don't want to go up to someone's door with blood on your shirt and, you know, full camo with a face mask on and, you know, spraying scent blocker on your outfit as you're walking up the driveway and say, you know, I want to go out in the back and shoot that 10-pointer in the backyard. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you go well in advance and you plan your trip properly. Fishing is a little bit of a different story. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's tough to get permission to fish private water. And again, the reason for that is because if you go to a farm and there's turkeys on the farm, the farmer knows that the turkeys hurt his way of life. Same thing with deer, same thing with geese, all of that stuff. So with a fish in a pond, it's not that threatening to the owner of the property, so it's not that big of a deal. But there are some ways to go up and ask politely to park in front of somebody's house or in someone's driveway to get access to a place that you know, you may not, the parking may not be readily accessible. Again, go in advance. Don't walk up to the owner's property, knock on his door with, you know, a bait knife in your hand and your rod in your other hand and say, "Hi, I want to go fish in your yard." You don't want to do that. You want to go well in advance. Go well dressed. Present yourself well. Tell them a little bit about yourself. Tell them a little bit about why you love to hunt or fish or whatever you're trying to do, and kind of meet them on another level before you actually go and ask them for permission to hunt their property or fish their property or park on their property or walk through their property or whatever you're doing. The other thing is, once you do get permission, treat that person and that property like it's gold, because it is. When you go there, if you smoke, don't leave cigarette butts all over the place. Don't leave broken arrows all over the place. Don't leave bags of you know, fishing hooks and fishing line and stuff like that, and soda cans or whatever. Clean it up. Make sure it's better looking than when you got there. Always, always, always thank the owner, and always remember occasions. If you know the person's birthday, send them something. You don't have to spend millions of dollars. Send them something. Just a simple card goes very far. So send them something and let them know that you remember them, that you're thinking of them. Even if it's in the off season, it's even more important. Send them and make sure that they remember, that make sure that they know you remember them when it's not hunting season or fishing season or whatever it is. Christmas, things like that. So make sure you keep in contact with them in the off season. And another very big one is, and it's more for hunting as opposed to fishing, if you're successful on the hunt while you're on the owner's property, offer them some of the game. Always, always do that. Offer them some of the game. If you shoot a 10-pointer in someone's yard, make sure some of that venison goes to the owner. Ask them if they want it. Maybe they won't, maybe they will, but ask them and make sure that, you know, again, it's all about just putting it in their mind that you're thinking about them, even if it's not, you know, beneficial to you. Give some of your meat away to them if they want it. Fishing, if you're going to keep something, maybe you keep 2 or 3 fish, you give one to them if they want it. You know, it's up to them, but just make sure that, you know, you're giving to them, and they know that you care about them on another level outside of, you know, after they say yes. Even though they say yes, you still care about them, and that's something that's very important, and that will go a long way. Just a simple thank you, and you know, offer to do stuff for them. Also, another big one, offer to do stuff for them. If you're a construction person and they need help with something, let them know who you are and what you do. You know, pass them a card, pass them a business card, give them your phone number. Say, listen, you know, I'm hunting your land. I really enjoy it. I really like it. If you need help building that deck that you're trying to do over there, let me know. Or if electrician, if you need help doing something with your lights or whatever, let them know. Let them know what you do and offer assistance to them. And I'm not saying you have to do a 10-day job on the guy's deck, but just offer assistance. You know, if it's something that you can do, pitch in, help out. Chances are you're probably not going to need 25 different owners to say yes. All you have to do is get 1 or 2 of them, and you're going to have plenty of land to hunt all by yourself. Now let's get into actually asking, going out. It's something you have to plan well in advance. Again, it's not something that you don't just, in most places in the country, you don't just drive around knocking on people's doors. It's something that you have to actually map out and plan in advance. I'm going to hit this owner, I'm going to hit this owner, this owner. Don't be intimidated. The worst they could say is no. And, you know, it's kind of like dating. You could be the ugliest person in the world, but if you keep asking women or men, whatever situation you're in, if you keep asking men or women to date you, eventually someone's going to say yes. So it's the same thing with landowners. Just keep knocking on doors. Eventually someone's going to say yes. Eventually someone's going to say yes. You're going to hit that person who just planted a whole entire row of tomato plants and the deer just ate the whole entire row. So keep asking, even if they say no. Every time someone says no, you're one closer to a yes. So don't stop. Keep asking, and eventually someone will say yes. All right? That's it. Thank you for watching another episode of Fins and Feathers TV. I am your host, Kenny Cannon. Please leave the comments and questions below, and we'll see you next time.